Hey, what's up, Roxstars? It's Rox coming to you today with a review for SWV and Xscape, the Queens of R&B, Season 1, Episode 3. So let's get to it, shall we? All right, you guys, the show, it's funny how this show is edited. It reminds me so much of Real Housewives of Atlanta specifically. But anyway, before we get to the main story, we see the girls from Xscape with their kids. We see Tiny with Eris kind of teaching her the dance moves. We see Candy with Ace, talking about how many YouTube subscribers he has. We see Tamika with her daughter. Tamika's cooking for her. And we see Tasha, and Tasha actually is the only one that doesn't have any little kids, unless you count Rocky's side baby. Okay, side note, somebody sent me a video of the side chick that I've been asking about all this time. And apparently she had made a video on TikTok, basically explaining that Rocky has been threatening her and put money on her head and all of this. And she did have the baby. But yeah, so that drama is still playing out behind the scenes. I guess she was afraid, maybe rattled, got way too much more attention than she wanted, all of that. So I guess she had kind of took a back seat to it. But yeah, it's still going on. The girl is still there. She is still claiming that that's Rocky's baby, and said Rocky has plenty other side chicks, and maybe some of them will come out if they get the courage. But I guess she felt like maybe she needed to put that information out there just in case something did happen to her, people would know where to look. So I did get my answer. Thank you to the Rockstar that sent me that video. But anyway, we see Tasha. On that note, we see Tasha and Tasha is actually out in Nashville. Remember, she went out there to shop her solo deal with Motown Gospel. So while she's out there, she meets up with Taj. Taj lives out there with her family. So they meet up at the African American music museum. I don't know exactly the exact name of it, but Mr. and I went there when I visited Nashville last year, and it is such an awesome experience. That place is so dope. Okay, it's interactive. It has a whole bunch of things that you can do. You can make your own music. You can get into a video. It's just so nice. Very, very nice. Worth the money. We spent a lot of time in there just having a good time. They even have a thing where you have this bracelet and you can load music onto the bracelet and it downloads, and then you'd have it like a playlist. Because when you go through there, it goes through all the history of history of Black music, from its beginnings all the way till now. So it's really, and it has like the clothes, and it has all kind of stuff in there, a lot of artifacts. It's very, very cool. So I suggest anybody that's visiting Nashville, you have to go. It's in downtown Nashville. Anyway, so they meet there, and they're walking around, and Taj is everybody's girl. Taj is friends with everybody. You can tell that she is the one that keeps, she's sort of like the glue, I think, for SWV, because Coco has her personality, and Lily even has her own person. Everybody got their own personalities, but I think Taj is the one that's able to kind of smooth everybody out and keep everybody, cool. So maybe she can do the same thing for Xscape. So, they're walking around and they looking, and even Xscape is up there on the walls, the same with SWV. And, Tasha is like amazed to see them up there, and Tasha said she just wanted to remind her, how important that they are to the culture and how much people really love them. And I'm sure Tasha knows that, but it's nothing like reminding somebody. It's good to see yourself up there, that like Tasha said, her grandchildren or great grandchildren, as long as that museum is there, they'll know that their granny was a big part of what we call music, R&B music here in the United States. So good for them. So anyway, after they walk through the museum, they sit down because Taj is trying to get a better understanding of just like what's going on. She could tell that Tamika and Tasha were having a problem. And so Tasha was just like, well, you know, she body shamed me. And Taj was like, what? She said, yeah, she body shamed me. You know, it's an ongoing joke about my little booty. And she was just like, I know y'all not fighting over no little booty. Well, it's more than that. It's more than that. You know, because she disrespected my mom and because I'm the oldest, you know, I just look at her and just like, girl, what are you going through? And Taj was like, no, it has to be more than this. Taj was just like, you mean to tell me you about to ruin this entire group because somebody said you had a little booty? I mean, really, out of all the things, we know that the bigger problem is way deeper than that. Taj was like, it has to be deeper. Yeah, the money issue, and really the biggest issue is Rocky. And since Rocky's not going nowhere, the issue will continue. So anyway, Tasha tells Taj how she's out there because she's shopping a solo deal. She met with Motown Gospel. And so she was just like, you leaving the group? And Tasha is just sort of like, yeah, you know, she is leaving. And this time she's stepping out on faith, not fear. You know, she's going to do what she wants to do. And like Taj said, we don't really understand why you can't do both. Why is it that it has to be one or the other? It's just very confusing. Tasha's just, she's just very confusing. Now, jumping over to Virginia, that's where Coco lives, and Coco's meeting her besties, Troy and Tamaya. Okay, she says that these are her besties. She's been knowing them for many, many years. You know, when she does her SWV thing, she does her job and then she goes home. So when she's really with her friends, you know, this is what she does. So they're catching up with each other, you know, and the 30th anniversary for SWV is coming up. You know, how do you feel about that? You know, Coco feels good. And then Troy asks her, how is she doing mentally? And she says, you know what, that's good as well. So she tells us that in 2017, she was diagnosed with bipolar depression. Because, you know, she was realizing that she was having these manic episodes. She was extremely happy or extremely sad. She would swing from one to the other, like within a day or whatever. And she said that her extreme, like her rock bottom was one time she was contemplating killing somebody. And, you know, she knew that that wasn't, I was like, thank God you figured out that that wasn't right. You know, she was like, I could be in jail today. And I was just like, oh, Lord, who was the person that she wanted to kill? I sure hope it wasn't any of her damn group members. So she did go to the doctor and they did diagnose her with bipolar depression, you know, and they got her meds together. And, you know, I guess they found the right balance to even her out. So she's good. They start talking about how she's old and everything. And she says, honey, this pussy still get wet. I was like, ooh, what is it about us when we get to our age? You know, my good grown age. And honey, we always want to tell you what our pussy can do. I was like, TMI, we didn't really ask you that. But yeah, she said, honey, she might be 52, but this pussy is 21. I was like, oh, okay. Later on at Coco's house, we see her son. I think his name is Jalen, but he calls himself J. Michael. You guys know he wants to be a singer, right? So he is actually making a video for his social media of him singing. Okay, and like I said, the kid has a very nice voice. Of course, he's been trained by his grandmother and his mother, and probably just gets it naturally as well. So he's singing and Coco comes and interrupts him. He was like, you know, I was making a video. Oh no, she didn't know that. So he stops and they're talking and he's telling her about this Balenciaga bag that he wants. And she was just like, absolutely not. Okay. She was like, this is her best friend. Another one of her besties, I guess. She says she calls him her little broke bestie because he always expecting her, you know, what kid is not expecting? And then your mama got money too? Yeah, mom, come on and pay up. So they sit down and they're talking and he's in dentistry school, remember? and he doesn't want to go back to dentistry school. He wants to pursue his singing career. And Coco does not want him to do that. You know, you've always been interested in dentistry. You know, you do so well in school. You know, your first year there, your grades were really well. You know, I'm paying for this. She doesn't think that he needs to stop that. But he was just like, this is his dream and this is what he really wants to do. And he shouldn't have to compromise what he wants just so everybody else can be happy. So, you know, he starts to get emotional and he's looked like he about to start crying and whatnots. And she was just like, okay, I mean, you're going to have to tell your grandmother. Okay. All right, let's call her. So they called a granny, and he tells her the same thing that he told Coco. And she was just like, baby, you don't know. You ain't old enough to know what you want to do. And she was just like, thank you, Mom. That's what I've been telling him. Okay. But he knows that that's what he wants to do. And he's just very upset that nobody is listening to him. Then he says, well, what if I take a 1 year, you know, break, like a gap year, and see what I can do in that 1 year. And then we'll revisit it at the end of the year. And the grandmother was just like, well, that's a good idea. Okay. And Coco was just like, what? Now, see, I was like, you got to know that the grandparents, you know, so what we do is, I mean, I'm not a grandmother yet, but I imagine what grandparents do is they be hard on their kids, but when the grandkids make it around, child, they be so tired of being hard on everybody, and they just want their grandkids to be happy and all of that. So they just say, yeah, you know, do what you got to do. Okay. So he's happy. He's going to have that 1 year, which probably is going to stretch out to be more than 1 year. You guys know how that go. People be done forgot all about it. But, yeah, he's going to get that 1 year to concentrate on his singing career. So he's happy. And then, you know, as usual, SWV is always working. So we see the group jetting off to Pittsburgh, and they have a performance. They have a concert there. You know, of course, they're not as young as they used to be. So Taj was like, yeah, nigga is tired. Okay, rock star lifestyle might not make it. She was just like, I can't do what I used to do when I was 21. You know, we used to party all night or stay up all night and then still be able to perform. She was like, now a bitch need to get some sleep. Okay. So yeah, it's not as easy as it used to be, but yeah, they still out there grinding. Now, back in Atlanta, we see Tamika. She's at home and she has invited her mother, Gloria, over because, you know, they need to try to settle this issue that they've had. So when the mom knocks on the door, you know, it's kind of awkward. She's like, hi, mommy. And she was like, hey, Tamika. You know, she was like, I'm happy that you came. And she was like, are you? And she says, yes. And she says, I'm happy that I came too. Okay, come on in. All right. I made you something to eat. You did. Yes, your favorite. Okay, salmon. I made it, you know, with cabbage and, you know, so she's like, oh, you made a plate for us already? She was like, yep, you know, so they're going to sit down at the table and they're going to talk. So once they sit down, the mama's just like, okay, so Tamika, what is the problem exactly? And she's like, well, mama, you show favoritism. And she says, I do not show favoritism. And she says, you absolutely do. Well, how does she show favoritism? And she says, well, you let Tasha express herself, okay? And basically, you shut me down anytime I have anything to say. And the mom says, well, I let Tasha express herself because she doesn't disrespect me. And she doesn't talk to me crazy like you do, you know, because as far as the mama's concerned, you know, she was just like, I am the 5th member of the group. I was the 5th member when I put the mic in your hand. I was the 5th member when your father left and I had to struggle to keep you guys afloat. I was the 5th member that keep you. I was just like, hold on, Shirley Chisholm, Angela Davis. Wait a minute now. I mean, why are you giving us this speech? Okay, first of all, what do the daddy got to do with being a member in the group? Okay, I think that comment was very telling because Tamika was like, my mom looks at me, she sees my father. Obviously, the mom has an issue with the father when he left them. You know, she was the housewife when they were together. Then when he left, then she had to get to work. She had to struggle to make sure that her girl, you know, her kids were taken care of. And Tamika feels like the mom has some resentment towards her because she acts just like the father. She looks like the father. She's a daddy's girl. So, you know, Sister Soldier was like, you know, I was the 5th member, the silent 5th member to keep you and Tasha straight. Well, did the rest of the group know that they had a silent 5th member? Okay. Did they want to have to deal with you as you tried to keep your girls in line? Like, mama, you overstepping. You are doing way too much. And the dramatics that the mom have, the dramatics that Tamika has, like you can just imagine what the conversations slash arguments that they have had in that family must have been like. Tamika does apologize to her mom for disrespecting her, even though I don't believe that Tamika ever did disrespect her. Yeah, she did raise her voice, but she didn't say anything out of line to the mom. And, you know, as parents, I tell you guys this all the time, we got to realize that our kids are not kids anymore. You know, they are adults. So you can't treat an adult child like a child, you know? So out of respect, she does apologize to her mom, but she also tells her that now that I'm an adult, you know, and I'm a grown woman, got my own family, my own bills, my own man, my own problems, you know, I'm going to take a step back if I have to come over here and be subjected to being, you know, mentally abused by my mom or my sister or anybody else for that reason. You know, she gonna step back. And so then the mom was just like, listen, Tamika, I love you. Okay? You mean more than the world to me. If I've been more of a supportive mom to Tasha than I have to you, then I'm sorry, you know, that I am here. So, you know, the mom does apologize too, and they probably have had these kind of conversations quite a few times, or something similar along the lines of Tasha's always the favorite or whatever. So, you know, it's actually very sad. You can tell that Tamika loves the mom, and you can actually tell that the mom loves Tamika as well, but you also can see that there has been some it's been some toxicity when it comes to the relationship when you put the three of those two, you know, three of them together. So hopefully they can work on their relationship, you know, but if this is something that they've been going on for years and years and years, I think that is something that will probably continue to go on. Now we see Candy at her house, and she is telling us that she has invited, well, she's telling her friend there, or her assistant or whoever she is, that she's invited Taj over. Me and Taj have always been cool. You know, back in the day, she always would call and check on me and see how we was doing. You know, so yeah, like I said, Taj is the girl's girl. You know, she's the people's person. She's the one that keeps good relationships with everybody. And, you know, they're both Tauruses, so there's that. So anyway, Taj gets over there, and her and Candy sit down and they're talking. And, you know, Candy was just like, so how was South Africa? She was like, oh, girl, it was a great time. We had a good time. They went on a safari. They went to a lion cub sanctuary. You know, they was able to kind of do some visiting, some tourism things while they were there. How about y'all? Was you guys able to love on each other, you know, as a group while we were gone? Candy was just like, not exactly. Well, she was just like, well, girl, I bumped into Tasha out there in Nashville, and did you know that she was shopping a solo deal? And Candy was just like, really? You know what? This is history repeating itself. Okay? Because just like back in the day, Tasha got the hair up her ass that she wanted to go solo. And instead of just coming out and saying something to the group, she started to cause all of these imaginary problems and started to feel like, you know, there was a problem when it wasn't even one there. Wouldn't tell everybody what she was trying to do. Very secretive. You know, we've heard this story many, many times. Taj says, yeah, she's shopping a deal. She met with Motown Gospel. Taj was like, I can definitely relate to this because Coco did the same thing with SWV. You know, she wanted to go solo as well. Wasn't really communicating that to the rest of the group. So yeah, some of it has to do with ego, definitely thinking that you are the best singer in the group, and feeling like you don't need them. I still don't understand why you can't just express that. Everybody has their things that they want to do as well, but we can still do this group thing, right? Candy was just like, well, I mean, that's on her. You know, Taj was like, well, if you guys are still willing to go forward, you know, and we not going to let one monkey stop the show, basically. The vision is still there. So I say we still get together, you know, our groups, and try to get everything settled because the date is coming, you know, within a month. And Candy agrees. Now, let's jump over to Lily. Lily is out with her son. Lily says, you know what? My son is not my best friend. My son is my son. My kids are my kids. You know, I'm the mama, y'all the kids. We don't have the same relationship. We ain't on the same level. Don't get it twisted. I'm always going to be mama. Don't call me Lily. Don't call me Leanne. Whatever her name is. Yeah, she mama. She says that her son is a dope musician. He is super talented. And she says that the son kind of wants to rely on her connections and just from her being part of SWV to get his foot in the door in the music industry and all that. And she says while she will help her son, she also wants him to grind so that, he can appreciate doing the work to get to where he needs to be. I was just like, girl, why make it hard for your child? If you can make if you can open the doors for him, or why not? Why we as Black people always feel like folks got to be struggling. Our kids got to be struggling. No, they do not. Okay. You teach them morals and values and even hard work, but you also can help them out if you can, if you got that. Child, don't get me up on that soapbox. So anyway, Lily has SWV, but that's not just who she is. She also has her career as an audiobook author, okay? And she has the many faces of Sister Hot Pussy. I said, here we go, talking about our pussies again, you guys. She has a audiobook of erotica, and there's a market for it out there. There absolutely is a market out there for it, shout out to Zane, who was probably the first erotica Black like African American erotica author that I ever read, and that was way back in the 90s, child. And honey, that Zane used to have me just like woo girl. So that's what Lily is doing. It's fun, it's risque, and it's also just something extra for her to get just in case this SWV thing don't work out. Always got the faces of Sister Hot Pussy. But, she kind of feels like you never know how things are going to go. Even when SWV was really big and then they broke up and then she was broke. She was living in her car. She didn't have her high school degree, so she had to go back to school. She had to get her GED. Then she got a job, and then she was able to start financially taking care of herself. And she had to basically rebuild herself. She was living in her car. We've heard the story. So, she just kind of feels like she's going to have something else to fall back on, SWV, and then, like I said, the many faces of Sister Hot Pussy. Now, jumping over to Tasha. Tasha is in the studio, and she is singing. I guess she's, making her tracks for her gospel record with Motown Gospel. She said that she hasn't been signed yet, and she's still trying to lay the tracks and everything, and I guess just get everything ready. So while she's in the booth, here come Rocky. Okay. Oh, Rocky, he's just a fun, happy-go-lucky guy. He's dancing, and everybody's just kind of looking at Rocky, and she can't even concentrate because her silly husband's over there. He's just so silly. Child, every time I see Rocky, I get annoyed. Anyways, she was like, let's take a break, send the engineers and everybody else out the room so her and Rocky can talk. So she tells them that she got a text message from Candy saying that, the groups, SWV and Xscape, they're going to meet together so that they can just plan this tour. This one night. I thought it was a tour. It's just one night, child. We're doing all this for one night. But they want to meet. And he says, well, what are you going to do? As if he didn't already tell her what she was going to do. She says she don't know, but her and Tamika are fighting, so that definitely makes things very difficult. The sisters ain't feeling each other. And Rocky was like, well, it's obvious that she not feeling me, because she's accusing me of stealing, this money or whatever, but I didn't steal nothing, but I forgave her. And I was just like, child, we know you took that girl money. And I did see both Candy and Tamika's videos, and Candy explained that Tamika didn't want to do it because then she would have to press charges. But I feel like you guys are playing in that girl's face. It's like you guys are calling her bluff. Now that that Tamika's not going to press charges against Tasha, but if they would continue on with that, I would seriously consider it. I know that would definitely break the bond of the sisterhood, but Rocky, like I said, he playing in a bitch face. So he was like, have you spoken to Xscape? Told him what's going on. She hasn't spoken to him yet. Because she feels like every time she tells people something before it fully comes into fruition, it doesn't work out. So now she's going to wait until the ink fully dries before she expresses herself to the group. She doesn't know that Taj has already told the rest of the girls about this deal. He was like, if anything, you go and you grab the mic and you remind them of who you are. I'm sure everybody is clear of who their roles are in the group Xscape. Thank you, Rocky. You get on my damn nerves. Now, lastly, you know, we're going to get SWV and Xscape together. We see SWV, you know, they just kind of singing I'm So Into You or whatever, kind of just practicing before Xscape gets there. And their management tells them, okay, everything is a go. You know, we just need to work out some of the incidentals, and then we'll, you know, we can get everything set, the date, the venue, all of that. Taj tells them that she spoke to Candy and that the rest of the group is ready to move on with or without Tasha. So they're like, bet, everything is set. Now we see Candy and Tiny on the phone on their way there. And Candy had told Tiny about Tasha's solo deal. Okay, that Tasha told her, and Tiny was saying the same thing that Candy said, you know, that Tasha did the same thing back in the day when she wanted to go solo and created all these problems where there wasn't one and just could never express herself and just, you know, fucked up the group even back then. So Tiny was just like, what she don't know is her stopping the group doesn't stop what we got going on over here. We still gonna do this one night, and whether Tasha like it or not. But Tasha's problem is Tasha just does not know how to communicate. And you've known people like that. I've had friends that I was just like, now you done created all of these problems when you could have just said what you wanted to say. And you know, we could have dealt with that. But instead, you done went all round about the way and created all these other issues when it didn't even have to be that way. Learn how to fucking talk. How old are you? You are the oldest or something of the group? And you doing shit like this? I'm telling you, it's that damn husband, y'all. I blame the husband. Once everybody starts to get there, you know, and they all sitting down, now we can get to the meeting. Tamika says that even though her and Tasha haven't spoken, she's hoping that, you know, that they can just kind of move forward. You know, she's feeling pretty hopeful about everything. So Taj was like, okay, we here. We all on the same page. You know, we gonna put our hands in so that we can get started planning this one night. You know, everybody that's in, put your hands in. So everybody puts their hands in except for Tasha. Oh, Tasha, you don't want to put your hands in? You don't want to do it? You know, Tasha just sort of like begrudgingly kind of puts her hand in, but not really. But we got Tasha at least saying that she gonna do that. Okay, next issue is the, you know, the headliners. We gonna co-headline this night. Because it's, you know, like they said, it's a collaboration. The groups are coming together. Remember, we were saying that they would share the stage and sing each other's songs and all of that, right? But Candy and Tiny both are just sort of like, wait a minute, hold on. Well, actually, it's mostly Candy. Candy is the one that speaks out for the group in this business sense and tells them, no disrespect to SWV, but they always headline their tours. And SWV is sort of like, yeah, your tours, but this isn't your tour. This is our tour. So we feel like we should co-headline. Candy and Tiny feel like they're following from today with reality shows that they've been on. They've been on TV, they social media, they have a huge following, you know, millions and millions of people. Once they realize that Candy and Tiny are going to be up on stage singing, you know, those are the people that want to come and see them sing. SWV doesn't see it that way. SWV is like, we sold way more albums than you. To, you know, our 30 million to y'all 7 million. And so, yeah, no, we not doing, y'all not getting top billing on this one. My opinion is I can't worry the fuck about it. Okay? I love SWV. In my opinion, I would be going to see SWV. I wouldn't really care about Xscape. It would be nice to see them, but my draw would be SWV. I'm sure that other people feel the same but different. Like they would be going for Xscape and SWV would just be there. Okay? I don't understand why we can't co-headline on just this one night. I'm assuming when you co-headline, that means that everybody gets paid the same amount. But Candy and Tiny feels like they should headline because they have the bigger following social media wise, but the sales of the records also don't lie. So both sides have a point. And I kind of feel like the compromise would be for everybody to co-headline. But that is not what Candy and them want to do. So, of course, Lily and Coco was just like, yeah, we fixing to just, I got to go pee. Okay, Coco's like, I'm coming with you. And Lily was just like, I'm sick of this shit here. Okay. And like I said, Taj is the people person. So Taj is trying to smooth it out. She's trying to get them to understand that we can co-headline this whole thing and it won't be no who. And I guess also whoever is the top billing or the headliner also is the one that closes the show. So those are all dynamics that I can't even worry myself about. Like I said, I would be going to go see SWV. Others would be going to see Xscape. I don't see why we can't just co-headline this one time. Okay, you see that them Scott sisters shut the fuck up. Now y'all y'all got all these problems with Candy or whatever, but you sure let her handle that business part of it, right? You ain't want to have to deal with that. All right. So yeah, Candy is a needed part of that group because Candy is the business mind and she's the one that's going to speak out. But I'm still going to say I can't understand why we can't just co-headline. Okay. So I'm sure they'll work it out and they'll still get their night or whatever. But yeah, I mean, you guys can express how you feel about it. I don't really care, you know. I'm just like, y'all get on the fucking stage and sing shit. You don't give a damn about what all that other stuff is. What do you guys think about that, though? Do you think that they should co-headline, or do you think that Candy and Tiny have a point? Do you think that SWV has their point? Leave all that below, Jeff. All right, you guys, that is it. Today, it would have been my oldest brother, Wayne's 67th birthday, I believe. 66th birthday. You guys know he died back in 2012, 2013, 2012, somewhere around there. So yeah, today is his birthday. So happy heavenly birthday to my brother, you know, up there celebrating with my mom and all the rest of my loved ones. Okay. Yesterday was also my cousin Paula's birthday and I forgot. So I have to send her a message today, you know, apologizing and telling her happy birthday as well. So we got a lot of birthdays coming up, you guys. My cousin Paula was the 19th. My brother Wayne is the 20th. My cousin Matthew is the 25th. My Jada is the 26th. My cousin Ryan, which is Paula's son, is the 28th, I think. And then Joe's is the 29th. Okay, so we got a whole bunch of birthdays in this next week for my family. Yeah, not that you guys asked, but it was really just a reminder for me because, baby, this memory is shot. But anyway, I'm going to get off of here and get this edited and up to you guys. Make sure that you thumbs up the video, comment, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. I'm itsrox. The channel is itsrox. Everything else I do will be in the bottom bar. All right. So I hope that you have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your day. And I plan on doing the same. Till next time, Roxstars. Bye.